God damn it. Thank you, Randall. I never put the mute on, and I did tonight. Okay, we got about 15 seconds. We go live, Sam and me. Right here. It's not St. Patty's Day, but we're not Irish. It's close enough. Stand by. Here we go.
The Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
All right, everyone. I don't know if you could hear me over the intro. That's one of the other foibles of this setup that we have, is that the intro mic will play even though it's muted. So I think we'll start this the right way. As we said, tonight's our St. Patty's Day show. St. Patrick, and as you can see by the graphic, and my son Sam, the Leprechaun. The Leprechaun. You know why he got that nickname? It's because of his red beard and his red hair. Now, it doesn't look quite as red in this light. Trust me, it's red. And
you can see it in the photo.
It's the Ides of March today, though, said Randall Flagg. Yeah. Caesar, back in 44 BC, this day, Caesar was heard to have said, this is a quote, smells a little fishy in here. There's something about the air, something in the air today. Et tu, Brute?
Here,
All right.
Before we
get going,
little Jameson and
this is Jameson, which is now exhausted. We emptied it.
We have more.
But wait, we have more. This is Jameson with, it's my favorite, the only mixed drink I will drink. Oh, well, maybe not. I'll drink like a White Russian, or something like that, but on rare occasions. So it's Jameson, Irish whiskey mixed with 7-Up. And this is a great, or Sprite. It's even better with Sprite, but I had 7-Up. And it's sugar-free 7-Up. So we're good for diabetics tonight. So cheers.
Little toast to the Irish here.
Okay, you got a toast going?
Here's the land of the shamrock so green. Here's to each lad and his darling Colleen. Here's to the ones we love dearest and most. May God bless old Ireland. That's an Irishman's toast.
Well, there you go. Or a modern Irishman's toast. Here. That's good. See, what's good about that? You go about half and half. And I do have a story with that I've told a million times. But it was, if you remember, Barry Fitzgerald from Ghost Hunters International. He was staying at my house when we were doing the Paradigm Symposium. And so John Ward and Barry Fitzgerald, they stayed at my house during the symposium time before we got into the hotel. And Barry said, he says, do you have any, I brought some Jameson. And he says, do you have any, and he named some sort of soda pop. And I said, I don't recognize that. It's like a British version of Sprite or 7-Up. And so we found Sprite. We went to the store and got some. And he mixed us up some drinks. And the drink he mixed was, he took glasses that were about this tall, if not taller. And he did half Jameson and the other half Sprite. And I said, oh, man, that looks stout. And he says, oh, no, it's good. And now he's Irish, of course, remember? So we did the Irish cocktail, as I came to call it after that. And there it is. And it is the Ides of March, too. Wow, I should have prepared something for the Ides of March. I thought about that. Did you know that they think they have found the very spot on which Julius Caesar was assassinated? I mean, the spot in the Forum. He was in the Senate, but there was some other side. If anybody knows the history on this, I'm doing this on the top of my head. Some kind of side. It was an entryway or a walkway or a foyer or I don't know, an area. And you can go to the old forum and they've got the spot. This is where Julius Caesar was assassinated here. But it wasn't. It was in a little slightly different place. And right now it's kind of the outskirts of, or one section of a restaurant that's very cobbly looking. It's old stonework. It goes right up against the old forum, the ruins of the old forum. And it's actually the spot that they have determined by the old, in this restaurant. It's still the old archways from 2,000 years ago.
Wow.
It's all the old buildings, and they've built this, it's like a really nice, I'm not thinking a restaurant like the Olive Garden or something, how appropriate, the Olive Garden in Rome. And the Romans would go, what is this? And, but there's a spot, and it's right in, like, amongst where some of the tables are, and there's the old stonework. And they said, according to archaeological data and all the work they've been doing in the forum, that this would have been the spot right here where Julius Caesar was assassinated.
Wow.
And so you could be sitting there having some wine in this very quaint old stonework place. A good place to look at it. Look up Tony Robinson. He was one who's done Time Team and some of these other archaeological shows through the BBC, and you see him on. Look up Tony Robinson, and matter of fact, I'll find a link for you. If you go to YouTube and you look up the, let's do a search for the death of Julius Caesar, then we'll put Tony Robinson. He did a series on Rome, and there's a place, the story of Julius Caesar's murder, the place where it took place. Let's see, location. I'm going to go location of the death of Julius Caesar. Let's see, I can do it without putting the Tony Robinson thing in there. The site where Julius Caesar was killed. There's a lot of these spots, or a lot of these little videos, but the one that Tony Robinson does is especially good because he's talking about Rome. Let's add his name back in here. Tony Robinson. Maybe some of you are doing this faster than I can even do it. But he finds the spot at this restaurant. Julius Caesar's murder 5 years ago. This is 47 minutes long, this particular piece. I'm not going to play it for you. Spot where it actually took place. Let's see if I can find it in this little video he's got going here. This looks like the spot. Okay. Hold on. I'm playing it in the background. And let's see if I can tell you a little bit about what he's saying here. If I turn on my sign, yeah, it's going to echo on us. So, okay, here he is. I can't show it to you, so I'm narrating. He's walking into this restaurant, and you see the old cavernous looking old building, and here he's showing you some reenactments that are done there. And right there, Sam, and folks, you can look at this. I will share this. It's a 47-minute long video on this episode that Tony Robinson did on Julius Caesar, but he's walking through this little restaurant where this is now, they have determined this is the spot right there where Julius Caesar was assassinated by all the senators. And I heard somebody said rather tongue-in-cheek, well, at least he died the way most of us would like to, surrounded by his friends.
I think I saw that comment.
Yeah. So there it is. You see the reenactment of dead Caesar with the blood-soaked toga was on that spot. Wow. So here is, I'm going to paste this just for your hello, your edification. Let's paste that in there. Boom. Go see that link. And it's toward the end. You're like, 43 minutes in to a 47-minute episode before you see this spot. But it's well worth looking at just for the hell of it. I think it's very interesting.
They had to work up to it.
Yeah.
Explain
build the whole story and all of that. So
show you the last little bit there.
Sarah Yusuf says Scotty went back in time and grabbed his doppelganger. Yeah, there he is. Here, pull up a little closer if you can, Sam.
Oh yeah,
I'm hogging the close proximity here. There you go. So yes, it's Sam is with me tonight. My oldest son, Sam, my firstborn, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone.
Did you see that other?
But he found the restaurant is to die for. Nice. So if you go look at that, if you go look at that, you'll see how it looks today. It's like a restaurant set up in this 2,000-year-old building. It's very cool.
That's awesome.
So cheers, by the way.
Not a lot of 2,000-year-old buildings to go hang out in anymore.
Jason, we can't see anything other than your banner and your tiny picture. My wee little picture. Here, let me get rid of this. Boom, there we are.
The wee little shenanigans.
My wee little. Oh, Sam, it's me son, the broth of me own wee shillelagh. So, So, there we go. That's a little Jameson and 7-Up, which is about the only mixed drink I'll drink, really. But it's in a Stella Artois glass. Because I can't find any of my Guinness. I was out running all day today and it was just wiped out. And so I just came back and I slept late afternoon. And
understand the being wiped out part.
Yeah, it's just it's a hangover from yesterday's surgery and if I remember right, this is what it was like 2 weeks ago when I had this eye done. And the first day and then the next day I was a little out, and then I was pretty much back to normal. So every time someone says a word, take a shot, says Field Guy. Well, there's a way to do it.
I still have to drive home.
Well, yeah, he's got to drive home after this.
Yeah.
You can spend the night here,
I know.
So
the missus might be a little upset.
Yeah.
Don't go for the one.
Don't go for the one, yes. It was 20 past 10. You've been drinking all night.
Well, Harvey looks down at the floor and with a confident air, he says,
5 more feet, lads, we're nearly there. You know what we're talking about. You know the song, don't you? Don't go for the one. The one, don't go for the one, don't go for the one, for the one, for the one, the one, don't go for the one, don't go for the one, for the one, for the one. For the one went down fast, the second did too. 3 or 4 more, 'twas a fine how do you do.
Harvey looked at his
watch, shrieked out with fright. It's 20 past 10, he'd been drinking all night. Yeah, because he just stopped for the one with his buddy. And he was sent to the snail shop to get snails for his visiting brother-in-law or something like that.
Yeah.
His wife said, don't be late.
To impress and partee.
Oh, yeah, yes.
As it says.
Yes. To impress and partee. So
I see double sober.
I do see double sober. That's it. Good for you. Sorry. It's good for you, Sam. I usually have to play D&D on St. Paddy's Day. Oh. What role do you play? Are you like a dungeon master? So
is this on the radio or no?
Yes, we are on radio. We are live. We are 14 minutes and 14 seconds in.
Wait, what is this? Eleanor in the rocks glass.
Vodka, 75 coffee
I don't
liqueur,
drink vodka.
and topped with Guinness. Dude, I would love to have one of those right now.
I mean, I'd be willing to try it, but I've just never been a vodka drinker. Not my style.
Oh, you're the designated driver. Oh, shoo, way over my head. Well, the first thing that hit me was bra size, and I thought, well, Sarah's not going to be bragging about her bra size in public, so that's not it. That's where my mind went immediately with the DD, and then DD, I went same.
And then it went to Dungeons.
Then it went to Dungeons and Dragons.
I didn't even think about designated driver.
Yeah. JP says, just try it, Sam. LOL.
I'll give it a try one day.
I don't brag on my role play, says Sarah. Very nice. So, designated driver. Got it.
Not double D's.
Right.
So,
we were going to talk a bit about St. Patrick today and his shoestring linkage to the Loch Ness Monster. Does anybody know how he is somewhat linked?
I haven't heard about that.
And it's not personal. It's a linkage. It's a shoestring thing. It's like saying, I'm a shoestring. One of our shoestring relatives, Sam and I, is President Andrew Jackson.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. Here's how he's a shoestring relation of ours. We're not related by blood to him, but it's through kind of a sideways through marriage.
Sideways.
It's this. There was Captain Louis Robards, who was in our family tree. You go back 9 generations in our family to the Revolutionary War, and you have the Robards brothers, 5 of them. William Robards, John Robards, Louis Robards, so on. And they were all grandsons of the original John Robards, who came over from Wales in 1710, settled in Virginia. Well, his 5 grandsons fought in the American Revolution. And one of the, it would be our 9th generation great uncle. So great uncle Louis.
Great Uncle Louis.
So Louis Robards.
He was a great uncle.
He was Captain Louis Robards. And after the Revolutionary War, he took his wife and they relocated to a little place called Kentucky. And there in Mercer County, Kentucky, he set up a mercantile dry goods shop. So captain in the American Revolution, the Colonial Army, and now he's got a dry goods shop in somewhere in Mercer County, Kentucky. And his wife, however, a woman named Rachel, by the her maiden name was Donnelly. Rachel Donnelly. She got a little mixed up with this brash young Kentuckian, and he was a woodsman and a frontiersman type, but he was also very civilized. When he was in politics, she got mixed up with this guy, and she ends up leaving Louis Robards for this guy. Well, this guy just so happens to be Andrew Jackson. And she ends up divorcing Louis Robards and marrying Andrew Jackson. Well, then eventually he becomes president of the United States. And what should happen? It's the big scandal in Jackson's White House. Look it up in history. The big scandal was his wife was divorced from her husband in Kentucky, but the laws in those days said you needed to be divorced in the state in which you were married. And she was married to Robards in Virginia. So while she was divorced in Kentucky, she was not divorced in Virginia. And she ended up being called a bigamist. And this was the big, no, you can't have my Snickers bar. I am very mean. It is bedtime for you, though.
Can I have your Snickers? You're not you when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Am I getting paid to say that? Snickers?
Yeah, something like that. Me? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not you when you're hungry, so always have a Snickers bar on hand.
I'll pay you for
I'll put this over here.
Bar.
Okay. How much will you pay me?
Don't
even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. It's not for sale.
She's gonna go find money upstairs.
It's not for sale.
Then good, you can go buy one.
Take a
tomorrow.
hike. My candy's not for sale. So anyway, that's the story. She'll turn into Betty White, says Sarah. So anyway, that's the story. I've told it before a few times. Is that we're related to Andrew Jackson only through marriage, because she was technically, legally still married to Captain Louis Robards. That story was featured on the History Channel when they did the presidents for Andrew Jackson. Oh, that's very cool. Yep.
Didn't know that either.
I didn't either. Why didn't they call and tell me? It's your
Should have-
family.
Should have been notified.
I think there's probably other relatives too. But yeah, she was married to my 9th, your 10th generation uncle.
Wow. That's
Louis
nuts.
Robards.
That's absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, you know, when you think about it, you know, because every generation you go back, I mean, you know, me, I have a mom and a dad. Each of my parents has a mom and a dad. Each of my parents have a mom and a dad.
Right.
I think once you go back, I don't know the exact math, but once you go back like
No. Don't bring that on camera. No.
He already said his candy wasn't.
It's not for
go
sale.
To bed.
Go to bed.
Go to bed, child. We love you, but
listen to your brother. So, is that the?
You just leave
hey,
this...
no. You hand that back. Hand it back. Hand it back. You'll get the 20 back as soon as I get my candy bar. Candy bar in my hand. Candy bar in my hand. I'm on radio. I got a show to do.
Hey.
There you go. Okay, give her money. Phew, that was like a hostage exchange. It's like, no, you give me Benny back. No, we'll give you Benny as soon as we see the money. I'm not giving you any money until I see proof of life. Yeah, I got proof of life right here. You want me to cut out his tongue and hand it to you? He's alive. That's the way this just went down.
Oh, man. Go to bed.
Go to bed. Time for you to be in bed. You and Mom got big shindig tomorrow. So, good night. We're on radio. So I'm going to have to go. $20 for a Snicker. I'll go buy some and resell them, says Field Guy. Where's your phone?
Away.
There you go. Good night. I love you.
If you loved me, you would give me a Snickers bar.
If I loved her, I would give her a Snickers bar, she said. Let's see. Good thing it didn't go full IDF Gaza over the candy bar. Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh.
Yeah,
God.
She would have if she comes sailing in.
You're raining up there. What are you doing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, it's too early to joke about that, but
she's got Rainy in her.
I get the humor.
She's got Rainy in her.
She does. She's got a lot of Rainy in her. And the way it is. I got my bright lights on tonight, so you probably see me better than any other night, because we usually do this show in the dark almost. So
get some red lights in here. Do a President Biden.
Yeah.
Everything is going perfect.
Yeah.
A wonderful president.
Bidenomics is working. It's working.
And you know, the biggest problem in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports.
That's right. That's right.
Those airports.
Not enough airports. They closed down the airports. Google. What's that say? Google Chalmette Battlefield. That's where Andrew Jackson fought the British in 1815. Been there many times. So yeah, field guy's down near Nolens. He's on the outskirts of Nolens. He kind of talks like this when he calls in. You kind of hear that Nolens going on in him. And yeah, you wouldn't be living where you are today if it weren't for Andrew Jackson. He bought that land from the French, fair and square. So El Presidente can do things like make money disappear. Amazing. Poof. Yeah, that's right.
$160
I
billion.
should have those picks that time. That's where it was from. I remember that, field guy. And so, well, let's look a little bit, by the way, since we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Where's your glass?
Empty.
Oh, you emptied it already. And we're all out of Jameson.
It's okay. I
Look what he
the
brought.
Scottish stuff for us.
Here
today.
you go. Sam said, "We're not Irish, so I brought the Scottish stuff." So
I'm curious. I was saving this question for once we got on to the
Yeah.
show itself. When in 2005, when were doing Scotch and cookies, what did you pay for a bottle of Belveni?
57 to 62, depending on what it was.
$110.
Holy shit!
$110 for a bottle. Nice 12
Now,
year old Belveni.
it hasn't been that long since I have
2005.
purchased a bottle of Scotch within the last 2 years. 100 and what?
$110.
What do you got here? You got double wood, which is good.
Double wood, 12 years.
It's a double wood matured in 2 distinct casks.
Whiskey oak and
12.
sherry
It's a 12 year.
oak.
You can't see because of the bright lights, but there you go. That's what he's got here. How much again? 110?
$110.
$110 for this bottle. I paid probably mid-60s for this bottle 2 years ago.
Jeez.
That gives you an idea. Hold on, my camera changed colors on us. There we go.
That was odd.
That's weird. It just has its own mind.
Changes colors on you.
That's what she said, Scotty, said Sean Strike.
That is good Scotch. Yes,
That
it
is good
is.
Scotch. Oh, the
Who is the
connection to
best?
Nessie. Sarah, the connection to Nessie. I've got it right here in my notes. It's you think of St. Patrick. Patrick, you think, who is the patron saint of Ireland? Sam, if I were to come up to you on the street any old day, it wouldn't have to be the Ides of March or St. Patrick's Day, and I said, "Excuse me, sir, do you know who this patron saint of Ireland is?" What would you say?
He was the one who drove the snakes out of Ireland.
That's it. But what's his name?
Ah,
St. Patrick. The proper answer was, see, the question was, who's the patron saint of Ireland? And the normal answer would be St. Patrick. Duh. Right?
right.
So, St. Patrick. But did you know there were actually three? There are 3 patron saints of Ireland.
Did not.
There are. There was St. Patrick. And he is Ireland's primary and most recognized patron saint. And he was born in Roman Britain around 385 AD. So like way back, within, 350 years of the time of Christ. And so that's how far back he was. He eventually changed his name to Patrick or Pádraig in Irish, as you saw in the graphic for tonight's show. And St. Patrick became a Christian missionary, and he's credited with introducing Christianity to Ireland, which replaced Celtic paganism. And he later became a bishop in Armagh. And at the age of 16, he was captured by pirates. He was forced to live in captivity in Ireland. And he managed to escape after 6 years, and eventually returned to the island, wanting to convert everyone to Christianity. And there's a whole lot of legends and stories associated with St. Patrick, which I think you'd really like. There's also, and it wasn't about St. Patrick, but who was it? There's an animated film, the Kells, the story of the Kells, the something
Story
of the
of the Kells. I remember that. Yes.
What the heck was that? The name of it? Something of the Kells.
Story of the Kells.
The Spirit of the Kells, the story of the Kells, the something. Look it up. It's the same people animation house that did the Song of the Sea about the Kelties, the
Awesome.
Kilties, the mermaids, and so awesome animation. But the something of the Kells, what the heck is it called? And I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Why?
I love you.
Good night. I love you too.
Have you seen this one?
No, you can't. Keep your hands off my desk. Sneaky hug.
Weenie, weenie.
Yeah, that's me, meanie weenie.
Terrible.
So, the secret of the Kells, Kelpies. There it is. Kelpies. What the heck did they call them? You heard it in the beginning of Rob Roy with Liam Neeson and Jessica Lange, and he wakes her up at the very
Selkies.
beginning. The Selkies,
The Selkies.
Selkies, Selkies in the English.
I love that you
spelling.
say that, and it automatically just pops into my head.
There it is.
The first few minutes of
She says,
Rob
"I
Roy.
dreamt a selkie came," and it's a
Rubbish,
selkie.
maybe.
And yeah, great dialogue in that movie. Good night,
Great
Ellery.
movie.
Says Barbie D. Sorry, Barbie D. So I was looking for Nessie in the swamp a few weeks back. No luck. I suppose not. What were you doing in a swamp? Well, he does live in New Orleans. So,
Nighttime swamp lady. Of course.
yeah, there it is. Trying to find Nessie in a swamp. Anyway, let me get back to this, the patron saint stuff. So, yeah, The Secret of the Kells is the other movie, and really good. Brendan, is it Saint Brendan? What the hell? Now I gotta look it up. Secret of the Kells. It's an animated fantasy drama film about the making of the Book of Kells, featuring the main character is Brennan, I think, or Brendan, Saint Brennan. Let's see. In the remote Irish woods, Kellach, Brendan Gleeson prepares a fortress for an impending attack by a Viking war party. Kellach, his young nephew Brendan, who has no taste for battle, works secretly as an apprentice in the scriptorium of the local monastery. And now that sounds like what an interesting movie is that, but it's really well done.
Yeah.
Go look it up, The Secret of the Kells.
Great
And
movie.
while you're at it, look up The Song of the Sea by this animation house. Phenomenal, fantastic stuff. You'll really enjoy it. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, but Brennan was the object of that one. I've got the wrong window open here. Let me get back to my. You know what I did?
That's up there.
Oh, there it is. There it
There you
is.
go.
And so it's Saint Patrick, patron saint of Ireland. But who was the other one? There was a female one. Do y'all know who it was? Saint Brigid or Bridget. And Bridget, kind of where we get our name Bridget. It's the same name. So she's also known as Bridget or Brigid of Kildare. And she's Ireland's only female patron saint. She was born around the year 451, just north of Dundalk, County Louth. And during her life, she was an early Irish Christian nun. She was a nun. I got to tell my traditional nun joke.
Oh,
That's coming, folks. You've heard it before, but you'll hear it again. It's a tradition on St. Paddy's Day on this show. But she was the abbess and the founder of many different monasteries of nuns. And perhaps her most famous monastery was the one in Kildare. It was built in 480 AD. And according to tradition, she picked the spot because it was where a shrine to the Irish goddess or the Celtic goddess Brigid or Bridget was located. And an eternal flame on the shrine was regularly tended by a group of young women. And there's many stories that are told about Saint Brigid. And according to an ability to turn water into beer, none of this hoity-toity water into wine stuff. That's for the savior. She's a common person. I turn water into beer. Probably not Coors Light either, or Bud Light or Miller Light. I think it was probably a good beer. If you're gonna be a miraculous turner of water to beer, would you think it would be a good beer or a bad beer? It's got to turn people to God.
Woodchuck Amber Ale.
There you go. Something like that. Or a Guinness. A nice stout.
So, yeah.
Nice stout. What would turn your heart to God would be if a nun could turn water into good beer. So that was supposed to be her special power. She could turn water into beer. How about that? Let's see. Yes, there are no. Are you going to give away my punchline? No, that's not the punchline. There are no wee leprechaun nuns. Okay, we got to tell it now since Jason's kind of alluded to it. So there's two wee leprechauns. Now, if you've heard this before, shut up and listen the fuck up. All right? It's a tradition. So, two wee leprechauns in Ireland. And they come up to the convent door, and the one says to the other, "Now you keep your mouth shut, you let me do all the talking." "All right," he says. Knocks on the door. A nun comes to the door. "Yes, may I help you?" she says to the two wee little leprechauns. The leprechaun says, "Pardon me, sister, but I have a question I'd like to ask you. Would you be having any wee little leprechaun nuns here in your convent?" And she says, "Why, no, there are no wee little leprechaun nuns in my convent." "All right, very good, very good. But peradventure, sister, I ask you a second question. Do you think there might be any wee little leprechaun nuns in in all of Ireland?" And she says, only slightly perturbed. She says, "No, there are no wee little leprechaun nuns in all of Ireland." Says, "Very good, sister. I appreciate your time. And please, peradventure, one last final question, without trying your patience too grand. Do you believe there are any wee little leprechaun nuns in all the world over?" And she says, rather perturbed, "No, there are no wee little leprechaun nuns in all the world over." And so the leprechaun turns to his friend, he smacks him, he says, "See, I told you you were fucking a penguin." There you go. That's it. What did I forget? You forgot the first part of the setup. That was the setup. Two wee little leprechaun nuns. That's definitely not the punchline. No, it wasn't the punchline. I didn't forget no first part. That's the way I always tell the joke.
Telling that, I remember hearing that joke when I was 5 years old.
When he was 5 years old. No, I learned that joke. You know, JP. Chip coffee. So, they meet in the pub. Yeah, see, I eradicated that part of the joke long ago. Means nothing to me. Squire,
Sir.
see that JP? Write his name in the book.
Yes, sir.
Now, scratch out through it. Name that movie buffs. All right. So let's move on with talking about our patron saint and our connection, our string connection from St. Patrick to the Loch Ness monster. So, by the way, was she just an Irish myth? There's historians have noticed there's many similarities between Saint Brigid and the goddess Brigid, who appears same name, who appears in pre-Christian Irish mythology. And like the saint, the goddess is associated with poetry, healing, smithcraft, protection, and animals. And whilst many historians believe that Saint Bridget of Kildare was a real person who existed, it's believed that early Christians in Ireland combined all the traits and the stories of the goddess with the nun to make the transition to Christianity more acceptable, which is what they did. The church appropriated all the pagan holidays and pagan gods and stuff. So St. Brigid's feast day is on the 1st of February, which was originally the date of a pagan festival called Imbolc. All right. Now, St. Bridget's cloak, there's a little mystery about this. Perhaps the best known story about Bridget or Brigid of Kildare is the story of St. Brigid's cloak. And as a nun, she wanted to build a convent but had no land on which to build one. So she asked the king of Leinster for land but was laughed away. And Brigid later prayed and asked for God to soften the king's heart. And after asking the king again, she asked for the land that her cloak could cover. And with the king, she asked for the land that her cloak could cover. And the king, thinking it was a small cloak, he accepted. And when St. Brigid placed her cloak down on the ground, it grew until it was big enough to build an entire convent on. The king of Leinster then had a change of heart and gave permission for the building of the convent, and he soon became a Christian himself, changed his ways, his evil ways, to help the poor of Ireland. So there you go. That's St. Brigid. Now, there is
Definitely a saintly story.
a saintly story indeed. Such a saintly story as to be saintly. The Celtic cross, an example of that, Yusuf. Yes, the appropriation of Celtic symbols, of pagan symbols. Whoops, there we go. Now, the third, now listen closely, because this is where our Loch Ness connection comes in. The third patron saint recognized of Ireland is St. Columba and the Iona Abbey. And you can go visit Iona today, the island of Iona. And probably St. Columba's most memorable achievement was the founding of an abbey on the island of Iona, just off the west coast of Scotland, arriving in 563 AD with 12 champions or companions. He founded a monastery. And by the way, if you look at our well, where'd it go? I'm looking for the right window. StreamYard. If you look at our graphic for tonight's show, this is an AI picture of St. Patrick standing in front of the little island of Iona with the monastery that's still there today. And off behind Sam's head there, if I can remove Sam's head from the graphic, is the ocean. It goes off into the waves. So that's Iona. So here, we'll take that back down. So we fill the screen in our largesse. Here, cheers. You have anything to drink over there? You gonna crack that open?
Oh, I was waiting for you to finish that.
Oh, here, hold on.
Cheers.
That's the rest of the Jameson.
Mm.
But we've got the Balvenie now coming.
Mm.
And folks, oh,
Smells just
mother's milk. And in case you don't know, if you came in late, John Piper, welcome. If you came in late, we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day today on the Ides of March. So 2 historical figures tonight. Pace yourself, boys. I am paced. I'm about as paced as I can be. And we won't drink those quite yet. We'll save that for a minute. We'll wait till we make the Loch Ness connection. But we're looking at St. Patrick and his connection, his shoestring connection to the Loch Ness monster. St. Columba and the Iona Abbey. It soon became an important and influential center for the spread of Christianity, this abbey, this monastery, and in Scotland. And St. Columba had previously created a monastery in Derry about 450 AD. But it was his one in Iona that attracted attention all over Europe. And it quickly became a place of pilgrimage. And it was said that 48 Scottish kings, 8 Norwegian kings, and 4 Irish kings are buried there. How about that? You brag about that in your backyard? Think not. Conceal, despite being an Irish patron saint, didn't spend much time in Ireland in his latter life. And instead, he spent most of his time in Scotland. And it's believed that he did return to Ireland briefly in about 580 AD to found the monastery in Durrow, County Offaly in Ireland. And according to traditional sources, St. Columba died in Iona on 9th of June 597 AD at the age of 75. He was also buried in the abbey he created, and his relics stayed there until 849 AD, when they were divided up between Ireland and Scotland. And St. Columba's feast day takes place on the 9th of June every year, however, and it's not as widely celebrated as other saints' days are. Now, Columba and the Loch Ness Monster. Oh, wait, I didn't latch into my Scottish. And the Loch Ness Monster. She's a wee big beastie. Anyway, St. Columba has become attracted to the first recorded story, attached, I'm sorry, not attracted, to the first recorded story of the Loch Ness Monster. Here it is, folks. Here is the epitome of the night, the climax, if you will. Well, of the storytelling part, anyway. According to the biography called The Life of St. Columba, which was written by Adomnan, Adomnan, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Adonman.
You don't know.
With like, it's not an umlaut, it's a little thing over the A. Adomnan. Almost a century after the reported event, St. Columba was in the land of the Picts, that's Scotland, when he came across a man being buried next to the river Ness. And the people burying him claimed he was killed by a water beast. So St. Columba sent a follower to swim across the river. How would you like to be? What are you all doing? Well, we're burying this man that was killed by the beast in the river. John, I want you to swim across to the other side. John's like, I don't swim. But so he sends his guy. Now, he was killed by the water beast. A beast. So he sent a follower to swim across the river. A beast approached him, but Columba made the sign of the cross and said, "Go no further. None shall pass."
You know what came into my head when you said I don't swim is the Princess Bride scene where Andre the Giant, I only dog paddle.
I only dog paddle. So, go no further. Do not touch the man. Go back at once. The creature then fled. Now, how would you like to be the guy that Saint Columba sends across the river on the promise or the notion that, if the beast comes up, I'll just stop him with the sign of the cross? You got to be quite a guy of faith to. It's like,
Yeah, you do.
I got this cramp. I can't swim today.
I ate 10 minutes
I ate.
ago.
I'll get the bends. I ate 10 minutes ago. The cramps. We used to call it the cramps when I was a little kid. You can't go swimming after you've eaten. You'll get the cramps. That's what we were told. And so, however, this story is most likely the work of a legend, as medieval biographies often included stories about water beasts. And also the existence of the Loch Ness Monster has never been proved. Yeah, right. But some historians also believe that the writer of the biography was inspired by the Olafist, a sea serpent monster that appears in Irish myths and folklores. So there you go. That's the shoestring connection between St. Patrick and the Loch Ness Monster. Not that he personally experienced it, but there's a shoestring connection in that he, being one of the three patron saints of Ireland, was
in a way
connected. So there we go. It's time. Yoda is on my shot glass. What do you have, Boba Fett? All right.
I told him Yoda because he's old and wise.
Old and wise.
Old and wise you are. Yoda. You seek Yoda.
All right. Cheers. Are we shooting these or are we
If you want to sip, you can.
We can sip them. This is Balvenie Doublewood. This is $110 bottle of scotch. So I think we'll sip them.
Oh,
that's smooth. All right. We're pacing ourselves, Sarah. We didn't slam it. Steph Quero Queen, welcome. What does she say? I've been called that. What, Loch Ness Monster? I was not in the water or near the water, so they can't blame me for his death. Nice. Getting a little feedback. There we go. I heard a little echo. Amanda Berry, down the hatch, boys.
Only so
You
fast.
know it. Only so fast, yeah. So, yeah, we're pacing ourselves, Amanda. Good to see you from down under. So, it's almost closer. It's closer to St. Patrick's Day down in Australia than it is here.
That's right. They're 20.
Let's see, what time? No. I think it's like 12 to 14 hours. So if it's 10 o'clock, just about 10 o'clock
Way off.
here, it's like noon tomorrow there. We're like speaking to the future. What is it, Amanda? Is it noon-ish where you live? LOL, good to see you both. Good to see you too. And let's see. I'm glad you're here. Nice you made it in. What else we got? I was just doing
1 p.m.
Jameson, 1 p.m. See, I was close. You are 1 p.m. is 12 hours till 12 p.m. So no, it's not 12 hours. 14 hours till 12 p.m. You're 15 hours ahead of us. So, Amanda is talking to us from 15 hours in the future. So, let's see. We are almost done on the radio station, by the way. We'll take a little break in between for those of you who don't know this already, and then we will open it up to your calls over here. I'll take the link right now. I'm going to invite you via link. Here is the link. Boom. Paste it into the YouTube chat room. Amanda Barrett, you are over in Facebook, which you will not see the rest of the chat that's going on. If you can, Amanda, make it over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scotty Roberts, or click on the link that's attached to this. If you comment over on the Facebook page, it's only going to show up on Facebook. I can see it because I'm on all the channels at the same time. I'm omnipresent in that sense. And but righto, I'll go to YouTube. Do it. Yes. Then you can see what everybody else is saying too. So, in honor of St. Patty's Day, road race tomorrow.
I think she said something about having. Oh, I was doing Jameson shots tonight.
Oh, you were. See, we already polished off the Jameson.
Jameson's gone.
So it's gone. Where's the empty? Where's the?
It's a petite bottle.
It was a petite bottle of Jameson, but it's gone now. There you go. I had a bigger bottle. I don't know what I did with it. It's not my liquor cabinet. We must have polished that off last time.
I think Christmas.
Christmas, we must have polished that off.
Yes.
Oh, I was just doing Jameson shots tonight. So Steph, you just said that. So, so that's the story. That's the link between the patron saint of Ireland and the story of the Loch Ness Monster. He didn't personally experience it, but another patron saint did. And when you get three patron saints and one of them had an experience with the Loch Ness Monster, might as well say it's true because he's a patron saint.
But did it say he actually saw it, or did they just find?
No,
the
he didn't see it.
They just saw that. They just found the
They
dead
saw.
guy.
They found the guy being buried
Oh,
because it had killed him. Oh, a 375 bottle. She said. This Steph knows her stuff. We've got a minute. We're killing right now. 1 minute and 12 seconds before we go off the radio station. So good evening, Claudette. We're just going to end the radio show and go into the captain's cabin, which comes up in just a few minutes. Those of you who are making it in just now, thank you for being here. I don't know what you've been doing prior to this, but you're welcome here. Even though you're an hour late. No shame.
excuse you.
No shame. No guilt. Bring snacks. I was late I had my grandson tonight. Oh, I understand that, except I don't have grandkids. Okay, in about 8 seconds, we're gonna go off, and so, radio audience, we're gonna say goodnight to you, and stick around, everybody else, or come over to youtube.com/Scotty Roberts and join us in the captain's cabin. Radio audience, live long and prosper.
Join us every weeknight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Intrepid radio program, a Scotty Roberts Productions broadcast.
Hey folks, this is Scotty Roberts, and this is the Intrepid radio broadcast. I've been broadcasting for about 20 years now, covering such topics as science, politics, the paranormal, weird science, weird world history, archaeology, and the paranormal. Everything from ghosts to cryptids to creepy things that go bump in the night. So every week I bring you 3 new episodes. Come and join my channel and also be a patron to this site. So see the details below, and we'll see you here.
Dave, I love you, brother.
I miss you too.
I miss you too, I heard.
Yep,
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
I miss you, Dave.
Arr, and welcome to the captain's cabin.
Arr!
Arr. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, mateys. Don't you be going to swab me decks now. We've got the average people to do that. So welcome aboard. This is the after show, the cigarette after the climactic experience of the radio show. I saw Jason laugh. Jason's waiting out in the wings. I can see him. And yes, the climatic experience of the. I'm talking like Joe Biden for some reason. It's like I'm missing consonants and syllables and things like that. And
you know,
yeah.
the horse always wins the race.
That's right. The horse always wins the race. So take that to the bank and smoke it.
Like
all
his
right.
son.
Yeah. So everybody, welcome to the after show. Glad you stuck around. I was just saying to Sam during the break that when I start drinking a little too much, my eyes get really squinty. They feel really squinty. It's like I get Clint Eastwood eyes. It's kind of like it's like
feeling lucky.
yeah. You feeling like you've had one too many? Nothing like a good piece of hickory. But anyway, let's bring some of our callers in. Okay. Oh, like corn pop. Yeah, like corn pop.
Sarah there. How did
a religious holiday get associated with drinking? It's associated with the Irish. Duh.
We're Irish.
Because we're not Irish, but we're celebrating the Irish.
And we're in Wisconsin.
Now, let's bring in a true Irishman by name Jason Pádraig. It's a patron. He's the patron saint of this show.
Of the captain's cabin.
How you doing, Jason?
Doing all right. I tell you, I will be joining you momentarily in a fine
what do you got there?
I
should be able to tell just by looking at it.
This is the last of my Connemara, which is one of the few peated Irish whiskies.
You know,
left in Ireland.
There was a peated Irish whiskey that I really like called Cardhu. Did you ever have Cardhu?
I have not.
Cardhu. And we drank that 25 years ago.
So there we go.
They stopped exporting it to the United States.
I'm killing this bit of the aquavitae with you. So the last of my Connemara.
Well, I raise a glass to that. I raise a little 12-year Balvenie. Cheers.
And if it gets any more interesting, I have here a bottle of the Pochine.
Oh, the Pochine.
Yeah, this is Bent Anchor. It's an American distillery, but they take the Irish tradition and they make Pochine.
Oh, there's a great poem that was put to music, and I saw an Irish musician perform this. I put it up on my Facebook a couple 3 months ago, and he's singing like this, and he's doing something in between songs, and he's singing there's something about whiskey and whiskey me boys, and they're talking about the Pochine. If you look at the original lyrics, they're talking about the poutine or Pochine.
Yeah,
and very good stuff. Amanda Barry, that's Amanda Barry. I can't even say it. Barry. Welcome to the chat room. Don't shake your head at me.
You're cut off.
No, I'm just pulling a Joe Biden. So who doesn't love double wood
a bad dude,
or
man.
triple? Who doesn't love double wood or triple? Or hey now. Wait, what's the old saying? I've got your double wood right here. So it's a bit.
She forgot the most famous one, Morning Wood.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I can answer your question from earlier.
Yes.
It's The Quiet Man.
The Quiet Man, yes.
Yes, and I put another quote in there. It was John Wayne's one of his famous famous lines. You count to three, you'll never hear the man count 10.
You'll never hear the man count 10. That was great.
Here's a stick for beating the lady.
Yes. What was it? Now there'll be Michelin Og Flynn. There'll be no patty fingers. And you
Dipping
can't.
your fingers in the
I
water.
can't remember the exact quote, but he says something like, "Now don't be hitting the lady until she's your wife, and you can do it proper." So, last round, Scotty, says Amanda.
Just a short stretch of the legs.
Short stretch of the. That's right. That's right. I love Michelino and Flig. He's old. He's all perturbed. He's chasing him, and the donkey stops at the pub. He stops in the cart and goes, "Oh, you got a better sense than all of us." And so, whatever the line was, something like that. So, Amanda, no last rounds here. It's only 1 in the afternoon where you are. So we're just starting.
Interestingly enough,
yes,
the town where that was filmed, Cullen, in County Mayo, quite near it's now owned by the Guinness family, or was owned by the Guinness family, Ashford Castle. A lot of it was filmed, so all the opening scenes during the credits and everything, that was all Ashford Castle. I've stayed there for several nights.
On the chair, I think.
It's a lovely place. But
Ottoman,
when they
Irish poetry.
When they came to Ireland and they decided on Kong did not have electricity. And this was in the 40s, late 40s that they made the movie. Kong did not have electricity.
Oh.
And so they powered the whole town. They run electricity through everything and all of that. And when the residents of Kong found out that they had to pay for it, they were like, no, take it out.
Oh, we don't want to pay for that now.
We don't need
you
it that
can have
bad.
it for your movie, for your Hollywood motion picture, but we don't want it.
It's still a really quaint town, though. I've been there.
So how are you doing, Field Guy?
I'm doing.
I was looking for something by James Joyce in here. It's he was comparing something to Guinness's brewery, and it's in one of his poems. I can't think of what it was. It's just that something is like Guinness's brewery at 5 a.m. with this and that, and now I can't find it.
Is that the one where they write it on the side of the bathroom stall?
No. This is modern Irish poetry.
The year was 39 and the sky was full of lead. Hitler was heading for Poland and Paddy for Holyhead.
Paddy for Holyhead. Yes. This was a James Joyce poem. It was a great Irish poet.
Anybody know all the words to the sick note?
9. I do not. Sad to say. Hold on. With my eye surgeries, the last one was yesterday. None of my glasses work anymore. My eyes are so much better now.
They did too good of a job.
Yes. They did too good of a job. I was in
How many fingers am I holding up?
Right.
What's that?
How many fingers am I holding up?
It's not. It must not be this book because James Joyce isn't even in here. How could James Joyce not be in a book of modern Irish poetry?
They forgot to pay the luxury tax.
Oh, I guess James Joyce wasn't exactly modern Irish, though.
Yeah, he's a little older. You know, he's was James Joyce the same era as Yeats? Do they have Yeats in here? If they have Yeats in here, they should have James Joyce.
Sadly, we lost a great Irishman this year.
Who did we lose?
Shane MacGowan of the Pogues.
Shane MacGowan.
Yeah, lead singer for the Pogues.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
The Pogues, which I was never into them enough to remember the names of the artists, but I remember listening to the songs. When I was a young lad, I carried me pack, and I lived the free life of
Life
a
of a
rover.
rover.
From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, I walked
I
my
waltzed my
Matilda,
Matilda all
Matilda
over.
all over. Then in 1915,
15.
my country said,
son,
it's time to stop your roaming. There's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat and gave me a gun, and they sent me away to the war. And the band played waltzing Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay. And amidst all the cheers, flag waving and cheers, we sailed off a Gallipoli. Oh, you know what?
That's Australian, but
Amanda, you should know this one.
Yeah,
I love the end of the song. It says,
waltzing Matilda.
Wait, what's the last verse? It starts with the old men still answer the call.
Right,
the old men still answer the call, but as year follows year, more old men disappear. Soon there'll be no one marching at all. And it lapses into waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. Who'll go waltzing Matilda with me? And their ghosts can be heard as they march by that Billabong. Oh, go waltzing Matilda with me. Great song by the Pogues.
Well, they covered it.
They covered it.
Yeah, I forget who originally sang it. And it was
that was for you, Amanda.
It was either a British guy or a Canadian guy who covered it, and it became a huge thing because it was like, well, he's not even Australian. He's the guy who wrote the song, and he wasn't even Australian. Name's escaping me at the moment. It'll probably hit me at 3 a.m. I'll wake up suddenly.
Yeah. You know what? You do the same thing I do. I'll be like, I can't think of something during the show. And all of a sudden, like 2:42 in the morning, I wake up and I go, I'm looking at the ceiling and go, yeah, it was not. And it comes to me. So,
yep. And the band played Waltzing Matilda.
And the band played Waltzing Matilda.
But Waltzing Matilda was its own Irish song. Or
to walk
Australian
and travel
song.
around on foot.
Well, it's Matilda was the pack.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when I was a young man, I carried my pack.
Yeah.
And lived the free life of a rover from the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback. I'd waltz my Matilda. So, yeah.
Until a big Turkish shell knocked me
arse overhead. Let's see. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me arse overhead. And when I awoke in my hospital bed and seen what they'd done, why I wished I were dead. Never knew there was worse things than dying. No more I'll go waltzing Matilda around the green bush far and near. For a man needs both. For a man
needs both legs to hump tent and pegs. And
waltz my Matilda no more. And the band played waltzing Matilda as our ship.
As it came down the gangway.
Now let's see. There's something about walking down the gangplank.
Yeah. Now he talked about how he's glad there was nobody there to pity him.
Thank Christ, there was no one there waiting for me to grieve or to mourn or to pity. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as they carried us down the gangway. It goes blank on me. But the people weren't cheering anymore. They were looking away.
Right. Yeah.
Now every April I sit on my porch and I watch as the parade passes before me. I see my old comrades, how proudly they march. Reliving past dreams and old glories. And the old men are marching, but they're tired, weak, and poor. They're forgotten heroes of a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question. And the band plays waltz and Matilda, and the old men still answer the call. But as year follows year, more old men disappear. Soon there'll be no more marching at all. We already did it, but waltz and Matilda, waltz and Matilda. Oh, come waltz and Matilda with me. And their ghosts can be heard as they march by the billabong. Oh, who'll go a waltzing Matilda with me? Yes, Randall was a great poet.
There we go.
Indeed. Carrying your pack. Are you talking about your package? Steph, you got to go there, don't you? Yes.
That's what she
matter
had.
of fact. As a matter of fact, it is about my package.
Oh.
And he sang as he sat and waited by the billabong. Oh, who'll go waltzing with me? What a passionate song. I love
It really
the
is.
song itself.
Like, I love the Pogues version, but there's something about the original one.
The Pogues, I don't like the way they sing it because they're like, when I was a young man, I carried my pack. They sound like
That's
Ed
Shane
McLaughlin
McGowan for
from
you,
The
though.
Quiet Man.
Right, but that's
Do you have any St. Patty's Day memories of Uncle Dave?
Yes, he was sober. No, I don't
he
know.
was
Not
sober.
specifically, it's-
I was gonna say I don't think I can think of a specific St. Patty's Day about Uncle Dave, but I got a lot of memories of Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave used to come by on St. Patty's Day and we'd drink a little
He was
bit.
the voice of reason.
Yes.
Y'all will load it.
Because
He
he's
was
been
like,
there
well,
and done it all.
What's that, field guy?
I said, y'all will load it, and he was taking over the show. He's like,
Who was taking
we
over
gotta
the show?
steer us
Uncle
in the
Dave?
right direction.
You talking about Uncle Dave?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, for those of you that missed it, Amanda, I don't think you heard this. I'll play this for you and others. This was when we were doing the ghost hunting last October. Sam was there. Rainey was there. And we picked up Uncle Dave. I believe for the life of me, and Jason and Field Guy, you both know what Uncle Dave sounds like.
Yeah.
All of you listen to this. If you haven't heard it recently, if you didn't see it tonight, I play it every day when we enter the captain's cabin. But listen to this. This is Dave coming through on the spirit box. Listen to this.
Dave, I love you, brother.
I miss you too.
I miss you too, I heard.
Yep,
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
I miss you, Dave.
One more time.
Dave, I love you, brother.
I miss you too.
I miss you too, I heard.
Yep,
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
I miss you, Dave.
Did you hear it repeated twice?
It said it twice. I always thought it looped, but yeah, it sounds just like Uncle Dave, in my opinion.
That's Uncle Dave. I'm going to play it just because I can. One more time. Listen for Uncle Dave's voice in this. And see if you tell me if you hear Uncle Dave's voice. Listen.
Dave, I love you, brother.
I miss you too.
I miss you too, I heard.
Yep,
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
I miss you, Dave.
That was Uncle Dave.
More like a singing telegram. I know it's with the radio stations and whatnot, but it just sounds that way, like he was singing it.
Yeah. I miss you too. Something spoke over him, somebody else.
Yeah,
But
he came
said,
in right
"I miss
after
you."
the I miss, and then there was something that started
Yep.
filtering over.
Then
Yeah.
he says two, And then he says it again while I'm talking to Rainey, who's filming. So, yeah, without a question. And that was his voice. I'm not saying, oh, that was his voice as in, oh, that was something Dave would have said. So it was like in his voice. That was his voice, his audible voice, which is what made it so incredible. And that was up on the knoll hilltop over at Festival. Dave, we miss you, says Mandaberry. Yes, we do. And that was last October that I recorded that. So that was just a few months after he passed. And Sam has had more experiences with Dave coming to him via the spirit box. And my wife would kill me if I did this, but I've got a spirit box right here. I don't know if the battery's on. Let's find out. Let's find out.
Hope she ain't lurking in the chat room.
She's not. She's sleeping. She's got a big day tomorrow. She's got a scout thing tomorrow. The Derby races.
Oh, nice.
Let's see if this is even on. No, it's not.
I had an interesting experience because I brought a lot of Dave's things home with me. His brother John asked that we got all of his Captain Morgan things.
You keep going.
But anyway, I had some candle holders that came in a chest of his things, and I found some red stick candles, and I put them in there. And I put them out before I went to bed one night. I woke up the next morning.
Let him tell this story. I am going to go do the 63-year-old man got to urinate in the middle of the show.
Old man bladder.
For a minute. He'll tell you the story. This is really good.
Yeah, it was very interesting. But anyway, I had these candles, and they're 13-inch red stick candles. They're burning. Yeah. I burned them, give or take, about an first inch and a half, maybe 2 inches of these candles. And I woke up one morning, and this candle was, when you first blow out a candle, you still have that tiny ember on the wick, and it's got the smoke coming off of it.
Yep.
I woke up one morning, I just came out of my room and walked into the kitchen, and my kitchen leads right into my living room, and I walked past it, and I smelled it burning. I could smell it like somebody had just blown out a candle, and I looked over, and there was smoke coming off the candle, and it was still, it was the little red ember was still there. Now those candles sit on half of an old rum cask that he had taken and converted into a mini bar inside of his RV. And it's littered with his things.
Yeah.
There's props of his. I have this old little locket that I put a picture of him in, and it all just sits there. And I've found it moved. I have a sword kind of like one of Dad's up here that leans next to it. I've never had any issue. It doesn't really fall over by itself, but I've found it on the floor in the mornings. I found the locket on the floor a few days ago. It was really weird. One morning when I first put it up, we found a bunch of Dave's cigars in his things. I took out and unwrapped a cigar and packed a pipe for him and put those on it. It's kind of a little altar almost.
Yeah.
And one morning I came out and I found those. They were both, he cut part of the barrel out so it had a door on it. So there's kind of a down under part of it. I found the cigar and the pipe both put away down underneath one morning. And I live with my girlfriend. She didn't touch them. She didn't move them. The cats didn't move them. Some of the falling of things I've wondered if it was the cats.
Right.
I've wondered if it was the door shutting. I've wondered if it was me walking across the floor. And I've tested a few of those things, and I've had some interesting experiences just having some of his things there.
Yeah.
And it's not always explainable. Like the candle, that really, I can't explain that because I know they got put out before I went to bed.
Right.
It it was a big thing for me. And my girlfriend gave me crap for like 20 minutes before we went to bed. Make sure you put those candles out. So I know I put the candles out, but now that candle, it's gone. There's nothing left of it. It looks like it sat and burned for 12 hours while I was sleeping.
Wow.
So there's some interesting stuff with Dave's things.
Amanda Berry uses necrophonic. She never speaks. She lets the words come through. I've heard a lot of love coming through. Names of many family who I've never asked for. People say it's fake, but when you get references of your day and your family who I've never spoken of, validates it for me. Hope it's grand and I know everything is okay and we're loved. And it actually said, stop drinking alcohol. It's been 7 months, no alcohol.
Nice.
Oh, outstanding.
There you go. That's why I don't have any tattoos.
Because the spirit box told you I have no
Well, not because the spirit box, but it was there at the Otasago when Chip did the gallery reading.
Oh, right.
And he told me, hey, you've been thinking about getting a tattoo too as well, because he was talking about there's that gal with the tattoos. You don't want to do anything with that. Just walk away from that. And then he said, you've been thinking about tattoos yourself. Don't get any. And
Really?
yeah, I had been. And then after that, I've been like, nope.
Amanda, I am learning how to tattoo right now. So I know how to draw. I'm an illustrator. I am. I've got all my tattoo stuff sitting over there. So, yeah, I'm learning how to do it. I would say maybe by summer, I should be proficient enough to tattoo. So, gives me a reason to go to Australia. We should take a trip to Australia so we can tattoo Amanda.
Jeez.
What kind of tattoo do you want? I'm serious. I'm not being prurient about that. I'm not being base or common.
Are you?
Not two.
Are you?
Are you? Not two.
Are you really?
She laughs. What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say as I was coming down the steps, and I thought I was listening to what you were saying. Now I can't think of what it was.
About some of the things falling over.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Pipe and the cigar being back in, put away.
Right.
Did I tell you about that?
No.
I told Dad
so.
when I set it all up, I sent him pictures and everything. I told him kind of what I was doing with it, the plan. And I put out one of his cigars that we found and all of his things, and one of his tobacco pipes with tobacco from. It was a pipe that we found in his things, along with a pack of tobacco we found in his. So all of his stuff. And I put that pipe and tobacco and the cigar out, and I found them down in the little cubby one day.
Oh,
they were in there. I asked Octavia about it. She didn't move them.
That's interesting.
Obviously, the cats didn't move them because it's the door's got a little lock on it.
And opposable thumbs that makes it kind of lack thereof.
Yes,
of course. It was just it's strange little things, and it comes in little snippets here and there.
Yeah,
Just,
that's the thing about that stuff. It comes in bits and pieces. I haven't had Dave come to me and really say anything other than that one recording up on the hilltop in the knoll out at the festival site. And I've had people doubt that. They cast aspersions on it. That's okay.
People are always going to do that.
The people who do that are people that are skeptics anyway.
Right.
It's not that they disbelieve; it's that they're afraid to believe. I think.
Could be.
No more dreams, Sarah. Just still that one. The night after he passed.
Did you talk about when he came and talked to you and said?
No, I
cried a little bit.
I did the last time.
Hear this again.
That was the
listen
dream.
To this one.
For those of you who haven't heard it, the night after, I still had not found that Dave had passed yet. It was the night after he passed. In hindsight, I had a dream that night that Dave came to me in a dream, and all I remember of the dream is I was looking down this long, straight dock with Dave standing at the end of it. don't really remember the surroundings. All I remember is kind of the water being there. And Dave was standing at the end of this dock in front of a ship. And this ship was a pure white ship with these golden accents, and the sails were this silvery, not quite silver, but they shined. They had a shine to them. And I walked down the dock and stood next to Dave, and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "Fair winds have blessed my voyage." And that was the end. That was the end of the dream. And then the next morning, I found out from Dad that he had passed that night.
Yeah. And, you know, the way Sam described this to me,
I woke up in tears. I was distraught.
The way I remember what you said to me, now I could be adding to this or embellishing it with my own imagination, but I remember Sam saying to me, I saw Dave at the end of the pier. There was this ship with the silvery sails, the gold fixtures, lighted. It was all light. And Dave's looking up at, and I see Dave, maybe it's my imagination because I've known Dave for 30 years. And Dave, he says, Dave didn't look at me, but I looked at him and he's looking up at the ship. And I could just see Dave with that smile, that little churlish smile he has, going, fair winds have, fair winds are blowing for a blessed voyage, I think was the first thing you said to me. And he didn't really look at you. He was acknowledging him without looking at him. Fair winds are blowing for a blessed voyage. And then he was gone. And I remember, I talked about this recently, but I remember that there was, when I was at the hospital, Sam was with me. It was before Dave had officially passed. He was the day before. And I went back in and there was nobody in the department. I just told this story recently. I don't know if it was on this show or not, but there was a little woman that couldn't have been all of 5 foot tall, wearing a hijab, and
I remember it pink. It
pinkish,
pink hijab, and
a very thick accent. And she was kind of manning the desk there as you walk into the ICU, the critical unit.
No, I was there with Dad this whole time. I was there with him,
and it was that first time we went in to see Dave. You know, it's got the big wall to floor or floor to ceiling sliding glass doors on each individual room, and there's Dave. He's laying in there. So I came back because a friend, there was a dear friend of Dave's, wanted to sing him a song over the phone. I said, I'll go in and I'll bring the phone in. And I went in and I could see Dave laying in bed. And he hadn't moved from when I'd seen him. And I was alone and there was nobody in the department except this little woman with the hijab. And I said, I'd like to go in and see my friend Dave. I said, she said, oh, he is not there. And I said, he's right there. That's him. That's him. That's his room.
And I'm standing as close as we are now. This woman is,
and this time you weren't with me on this one. You were waiting in the hallway, down the hall.
Oh,
because I went in and I said, but and I was trying to be respectful and nice. I said, that's Dave right there. We were just in a little while ago. I'd like to go see him again. Oh, he's not there, she said. I said, well, where is he? And she said, oh, he is off on this other ward visiting some patients. So go down the hall and turn left here and go there and you'll find him. And I said, but I said, really, ma'am, I said, he's right there. She goes, oh, no, that is not him. He has left. And she wouldn't let me go back to see him. So I walked out and you were down the hallway waiting for me. And I put my arms up and I said, what the fuck? And he said, Sam's like, what? I said, I can't get in to see him. says he's not here. And as I'm talking to Sam, walking toward him down the hall, a man in a suit comes from around the corner and he says, "Oh, I'm Chaplain Ricky," or whatever his name was. And he says, "Can I help you out?" And I told him what had happened. And he says, "Let me go check." And I'm sure Chaplain Ricky has probably heard many stories at the hospital. And he walks in, he comes back out and he says, "Why don't you come with me?" He brings us in the back way. And now nobody is in the department. The woman is even gone with the hijab. And we walk into Dave's room and he's still there. We talk to him, and my friend Dana, she sings him a song over the phone. She's a singer. She and Dave were very close. They were did a lot of business together. They were very close friends. And she sings him a song that she had written for him. And as she's singing, he starts heaving his chest up and down. And the nurse rushes in and she goes, "It's just, he's getting some, what do they call the feedback? The aspirating."
Yeah.
And she cleared something out and then he calmed down. That was pretty coordinated aspiration.
It happened twice, though. It wasn't just once. It happened twice.
It happened when your sisters were,
Yeah.
your older sisters were talking to Dave on the phone. And so I left there and we went back, and Travis Thorpe was there with us. And we were talking about it. And we went outside to have a smoke. And I found that poem, by the way. And we postulated at the time, was this woman? Who was this woman? Because we never saw her again that day.
We couldn't find her after that.
And was Dave actually off visiting someone else in spirit? Was he already gone? Was he still attached to his body? But did he actually leave? Was she correct? He's gone. That is not him. He's not here anymore. He's off visiting.
He has left.
And of course, the next morning at 7:30 in the morning, he was gone. Here, by the way, totally different topic, because I found the poem. And I was just flipping through this book as I was talking, and I saw a dog-eared page. And this is a poem by Fergus Allen. And he mentions James Joyce. That's why I thought it was by James Joyce.
Right.
It's a poem called The Fall. He says, "The Garden of Eden described in the Bible was Guinness's brewery mentioned by Joyce, where innocent Adam and Eve were created and dwelt from necessity rather than choice. For nothing existed but Guinness's brewery. Guinness's brewery occupied all. Guinness's brewery everywhere, anywhere. Woe that expulsion succeeded the fall. The ignorant pair were encouraged in drinking whatever they fancied whenever they could, except for the porter or stout, which embodied delectable knowledge of evil and good. In Guinness's brewery, innocent, happy, they tended the silos and coppers and vats. They polished the engines and coopered the barrels, and even made pets of the brewery rats. One morning, while Adam was brooding and brewing, it happened that Eve had gone off on her own, when a serpent-like ivy slid up to her softly and murmured seductively, "Are we alone?" "Oh, Eve," said the serpent, "I beg you to sample a bottle of Guinness's excellent stout, whose nutritive qualities no one can question, and stimulant properties no one can doubt. It's tonic." Oh, wait, the fold is right over the word. "It's tonic, enlivening, strengthening, and heartening, loaded with vitamins straight from the wood, and further enriched with the not undesirable lucrative knowledge of evil and good." So Eve was persuaded, and Adam was tempted. They fell and they drank and continued to drink. Their singing and dancing and shouting and prancing, preventing the serpent from sleeping a wink. Alas, when the couple had finished a barrel and swallowed the final informative drops, they looked at each other and knew they were naked, and covered their intimate bodies with hops. The anger and rage of the Lord were appalling. He wrathfully cursed them for taking to drink, and hounded them out of the brewery, followed by beetles, magenta, and elephants, pink. The crapulous couple emerged to discover a universe full of diseases and crimes, where porter could only be purchased for money in specified places at specified times. And now, in this world of confusion and error, our only salvation and hope is to try to threaten and bargain our way into heaven by drinking the heavenly brewery dry. There it is.
That just made me think of the Irish Rovers song, Lily the Pink.
Oh, I know it and I don't know it.
See, now we're getting back into songs. That brings me back to the other really deep song that Dad used to sing Waltz and Matilda.
I love you, Amanda.
When I was younger. Also, what is it? Vimy by Tanglefoot.
Vimy, yeah.
Vimy.
I played that
really
on the show.
Emotional song.
See, now I used to sing these songs when Sam was a wee bairn. He was a child, and as he was growing up, I'd sing these songs to him. The one about the Waltz and Matilda song. The band played Waltz and Matilda.
Caledonia.
I love that song.
Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5?
No, it was Robbie McAllister. Is that right?
Dougie McLean.
Dougie McLean.
That's the one that I know.
Dougie McLean. That's the guy.
Yep.
Not Robbie McAllister. It has the same ring to it, though, doesn't it? Amanda, can't say I ever drank it. Rather thick. It's a meal. I always said drinking a pint of Guinness is like drinking a loaf of bread.
My goodness, my Guinness. It's good
My
for your health.
goodness, my Guinness. Brilliant! Remember that ad campaign?
Brilliant.
Field guy hopped off. He's still here, though. What was the... Yeah, we've... I'm doing it because I'm drinking. These people come to see me in my bedroom with faces dim and names I can't recall. Some woman with a golden ring, she comes and combs my hair. Then she dresses me and walks me down the hall. I can still put one foot before the other if someone points the way for me to go. Outside the sun is shining and there's people gathered round. They put circles of red flowers on stones. Raise your flask, aim your rifles high. I've had a dream, I've seen we three should have no fear at all. You'll die in Kenora, Billy, you Jim in Winnipeg, and I will end my days in Montreal. Jimmy Radcliffe stood before me in the tunnel, spat on his bayonet and wiped it with his hand. He rocked from heel to heel, blew out his cheeks and whistled as we waited for the order to advance. Jimmy Radcliffe was only 20, and we thought him an old man. He said he'd fathered children by the score, by girls back home in Winnipeg and girls in Calais, and he swore by God there'd be 100 more. Raise your flask, aim your rifles high. I've had a dream I've seen we three should have no fear at all. You'll die in Kenora, Billy, you Jim in Winnipeg, and I will end my days in Montreal. Billy Whitefish from Kenora, jet black hair and eyes like coal. We all called him Chief behind his back. He never laughed or smiled or joked or said that much at all. He just waited for the order to advance. They threw shells over our heads into the hillside. In 30 yards our kitten boots were full of mud. As I could see again, I was alone. Jimmy wasn't there. Oh, wait, I jumped ahead.
And there was an explosion.
Let's see.
It's
No, it
perfect
says.
up until one
It
little
says.
point.
Sorry, I missed a line there. He says they threw shell over our head into the hillside. In 30 yards, our kits and boots were full of mud. Jimmy.
Then there was an explosion.
No.
and
Jimmy
wasn't
went down on both knees, and he coughed into his sleeve, and there was blood. Raise your flask. Aim your rifles high. I've had a dream I've seen we three should have no fear at all. You'll die in Kenora, Billy, you Jim in Winnipeg, and I will end my days in Montreal. Billy Whitefish from Kenora wound up in a German trench where he captured their machine gun all alone. And he held him off until his ammunition was all spent. Then they swarmed around and they hacked him to the bone. Raise your flask. Aim your rifles high. I've had a dream I've seen we three should have no fear at all. You'll die in Kenora, Billy, you Jim in Winnipeg, and I will end my days in Montreal. The last sound I ever heard was an explosion. Bodies flew like apples thrown by boys at play. When I could see again, I was alone. Jimmy wasn't there, and a crater marked the hillside where he'd lay. Billy Whitefish from Kenora, I jumped a verse, wound up in a German trench where he captured their machine gun all alone. And he held them off until his ammunition was all spent. Then they swarmed around and they hacked him to the bone. Raise your flask. Aim your rifles high. I've had a dream I've seen we three should have no fear at all. You'll die in Kenora, Billy, you Jim in Winnipeg, and I will end my days in Montreal. Now every day I still remember what I told them, my two friends who that day from this earth were torn. Now the craters and the trenches where they died will bear the names of the cities and the towns where they were born. Raise your flask. Aim your rifles high. I've had a dream I've seen we three should have no fear at all. You'll die in Kenora, Billy, you Jim in Winnipeg, and I will end my days in Montreal. Now that song was written by Tanglefoot after they dedicated the trenches and the craters site at Vimy Ridge, and they named the craters and the trenches for the the towns where the boys who died there had come from. And so you can go there today and see that. And that's what that song was about. And the harmony on that, it's all an a cappella song that's performed by Tanglefoot. You need to go look it up.
Beautiful song.
Tanglefoot, and it's called Vimy, Vimy.
Beautiful.
And beautiful, beautiful song. So,
it sounds like they were Canadian. And the Canadians are basically why we have the Geneva Suggestions.
yes. Indeed.
When the story stops, the war crimes start.
Yes. We're lucky to be here. If your grandfathers fought in World War I or World War II, says Amanda. Can't believe mine made it home at 17 from Gallipoli.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of that band played Waltz and Matilda song, and we sailed off for Gallipoli. It's
everybody kind of calls that, one of Churchill's big blunders.
yes.
But there were other factors that led into that, and unfortunately, Churchill takes the brunt of the blame.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. And what do they say in that song? They say something like, when they talk about the big Turkish shell knock me arse overhead, which we talked about already. Yeah. But before that, he mentions as the Turks buried ours, we buried ours.
The Turks buried theirs.
Started all over again.
Yeah.
A mad. I'm just looking for the lyrics because it's so profound.
Turks buried theirs. Started all over again.
Matilda. I'm looking for the lyrics.
Yeah, the band played Waltzing Matilda.
Here it is. It says, how well I remember that terrible day, how our blood stained the sand and the water, and of how in that hellhole they called Suvla Bay, we were butchered like lambs to the slaughter. Johnny Turkey was waiting. He'd primed himself well. He showered us with bullets and rained us with shells. And in 5 minutes flat, he'd blown us all to hell. Nearly blew us right back to Australia. And then it goes into, but the band played Waltz and Matilda when we stopped to bury our slain. And then it says, and those that were left, well, we tried to survive in that mad world of blood, death, and fire. And for 10 weary weeks, I kept myself alive, though around me the corpses piled higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me arse overhead. And when I awoke in my hospital bed and seen what they'd done, well, I wished I was dead. Never knew there was things in dying. For I'll go no more waltzing Matilda, all around the green bush far and near. For the hump tent peg and men needs both legs. No more waltzing Matilda, no more. So they gathered the crippled, the wounded, and maimed. And they shipped us back home to Australia. The legless, the armless, the blind, the insane. Those proud wounded heroes of Suvla. And as our ship pulled into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where my legs used to be. And thank Christ, there was no one there waiting for me. To grieve or to mourn or to pity. And then it's the band played Waltz and Matilda. And then so now every April I'll sit on my porch and watch the parade pass before me. And moving, incredible lyrics.
I don't write songs like that anymore.
Yeah, Amanda, you're right. Probably why they said stop drinking. It won't help any pain. It makes it worse.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Chuck Thurston says the audio delay is killing me. He's probably trying to sing along with us. So, Amanda, I quit smoking 7 months ago now. I had a halfie tonight, and I had a cigarette last week. But other than that, that's all I've had in 7 months. And I thought I'd give myself a 6-month buffer before I started having one now and then.
Well,
And,
just don't
I have
fall
no
back
draw
into it.
to continue it. What's that?
Just don't fall back into it like I did.
I won't. I won't. If I were going to, I would have last week after having one.
Yeah.
So then I had a halfie tonight and said, that's it.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, that's not how it started for me.
That's how it starts
Oh.
back up, I should say.
Yes. Yeah. And I guarantee you, and I can say this because I know who I am and I know what I'm made of, I won't start up again. I might have one every now and then. Speaking of having one every now and then.
Yoda says, that is Balvenie Doublewood. The force is strong.
Cheers.
Sluncha.
Slanjaba. Sorry, Amanda, you're not drinking anymore, and we just shot a little Balvenie Doublewood. A good scotch, I must say. I'll hold it up so the light doesn't obliterate the label. There you go. Good stuff. So, what you singing over there, Jason?
Oh, I'm just humming. The band played Waltzing Matilda.
Yeah.
It has a way of sticking.
It'll be stuck in your head now.
Yeah.
Look up
definitely
Tanglewood singing Vimy.
Yeah, no, I will. It sounds like a good one.
Well worth listening to.
Absolutely.
And I've got my own version of that where I recorded all 4 parts. It's an acapella song. I played. It's rough because I did it. Look, God, 12 years ago. I recorded it.
Yeah.
I will again. She says, not just not the whole bottle of Dimple. Oh God.
Dimple?
Yikes.
I haven't heard of that one.
Well, hey,
you don't want to.
at least it's not Malort.
Oh, you didn't drink any scotch while you were in Scotland, Mira?
How dare you?
Major?
Shame upon you.
My older daughters want to take me to Scotland in May or June.
Yeah, they need to.
For a dad trip. Just a dad trip. Rainey felt a little bad at first when they first announced it. And they said, hey, we just want to take a trip with Dad. We want to take Dad on a trip. They didn't say, before he dies. So,
Jesus.
But, you climbed Arthur's seat. Excellent.
That's cool.
I'm going to do that when we're there.
Nice.
Overlooking Edinburgh. Edinburgh. Wonky knees and all. And you know, I've told this story before, but when we were in Inverness, God, with his mom, it was 1990. So you do the math, 34 years ago. And
1990 was not 30 years ago. 30 years ago was the 70s. La 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 la
la la la la la la la. You can't tell me any different. La 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 la. So 34 years ago, we were in Inverness, and I had rented a car, and I parked.
You whatted the car?
Rented.
You what?
Rent.
What? You hired? You hired
a car.
You hired a car. You hired a car. Got to remember where you are, man.
That's
or where
right.
you were.
That's right. Scotland. Oh, you
they
hired
don't rent,
the car.
They don't rent cars there.
Oh,
they
you hired the car
them.
then. So we come back to the car after doing a little shopping, and there's a very stout, old, probably not as old as I am now, but in my memory, old copper. And he's got the little leather bill on his cap, and the cop cap and uniform. He's very stout. Oh, it's like, if you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on, let me know. That's the way he came
down.
It's a piper down.
Piper down.
Piper down.
Piper is down.
But he's writing a ticket. And I go, oh. I said, can I stop you from writing the ticket. We'll move it. Oh, well, laddie, you're parked. You're parked on the gray curb. And I said, oh, it's because part of the curves were painted yellow, part were left gray.
Right.
Well, what does that mean in America?
You
Yellow
don't park in
means
front of the
don't
yellow.
park here.
Yeah.
I said, he said, you're parked on the gray. And I said, I'm from America, which was my first mistake. I should have said I was Canadian. I'm from America. I said, over where I come from, I said, it's the other way around. The yellow means you can't park here. The gray is safe. And he looks up, that bill raises up like this. And you can barely see his eyes. He's got big, bushy, white eyebrows. And he says, well, you're not in America now, are you, lad? And I said, no. He rips off and he hands, here's your ticket, or whatever he called it. So I'm a wanted man in Inverness because I never paid it. That was 34 years ago.
I was wondering if that's where that was going to go.
So here's Sarah bringing us back to topic. Do you think the snakes in Ireland were actual snakes or representing the Druids? Obviously, the Druids and the pagans. Had nothing. There's no snakes in Ireland.
Right.
I taught him well.
Anybody who knows anything knows that it's a metaphor.
Anything good goes down well. Good scotch goes down well, says Amanda.
Yes,
that's what she said.
That's what she said. Yes. Well, scotch is rather derogatory. I preferred Scotsman.
Well, there we go. Now we have the basis for a new drinking song to write called the Woken Scotsman.
I just happen to have my boron. But I don't have a cymbal. I can't play this.
Scotsman clad in kilts left the bar one evening fair.
I've got one, but I don't play it.
I
had rhythm though. So
stumble off into the grass to sleep beside the street.
I hate that song. You know why?
Why?
Because it's the joke I heard for 35, 40 years. Oh, I got this great joke for you, Scotty, because you wear a kilt. There's a guy with a blue ribbon joke. And I'm like, oh, God, not again.
Here we go again.
Here we go. I think I've heard that joke 1,000 times.
Lad, I don't know where you've been, but I see you won first prize.
I was gonna say, I think the what does a Scotsman wear beneath his kilt is a better one than that.
Oh, we got it all the time at festival because at the festival we dressed Renaissance-y, but there we had Scottish weekend where we'd wear our kilts. So whatever our costumes were, we'd dress with our kilts instead of our pantaloons. And so we had a kilt on.
Donald, where's your trousers?
Where's Donald? Where's your trousers? That's how the song goes. So we'd invariably always get women that would walk up to us and say, oh, tee patrons,
Right.
Hey, what's a real Scotsman? What do you wear beneath your kilt? What's under your kilt? And I'd say, we'd always come off with, this was back in the days when you could be a little more bawdy. And it was like, oh, what's underneath your kilt? We'd say, well, depends on what brand of lipstick you're wearing.
Shit.
And we'd say things like that, or what's beneath your kilt? And we'd look down, we go, why, my socks and shoes, of course.
Yeah.
And, we had all kinds of answers for that. So, what does she say here? Butlers and Langs, great colors. Butlers and Langs. I wouldn't rate the blue ribbon. I'm more Brit, says Chuck Thurston. Excuse me. Wow, where'd that come from?
And it's so interesting that with the kilt, the history of the kilt, and everybody how they associate it, and then you look at like Hollywood, and you look at like Braveheart, and it's like, well, when all that went down, the Scots weren't wearing kilts. It was after that. It was a good while after that.
Now it's more Victorian.
Right.
Yeah, William Wallace never wore a kilt, probably.
Yeah.
At least not on a daily basis.
Well, and it's great too that and I say
Glad
great,
you're laughing.
like funny. The everybody starts associating kilts with the Irish, and
Yeah.
the Irish weren't really kilt
I
wearers.
know.
Yeah,
Although there is an Irish one.
there is. There's an Irish tartan. There is. And it's funny because I had a buddy of mine, messaged me a little while back and said, "Hey, I know you're packing up and moving, so you may not be able to find anything. If you do, but you wouldn't happen to have a kilt, and what size is it?" And I'm like, "Well, I do. I have two kilts, and they're one of them's a utilikilt type kilt, and
We've got one of those.
has cargo pockets on it. But I was like, if I find them, I'll you can borrow it, whatever." But then he he messaged me this evening. He's like, "Hey, have you been able to find anything?" And I said, "No, sadly, I haven't been able to." He's like, "Okay, well, I appreciate you looking." And I was like, "Well, look on the bright side, man. St. Patrick's is this weekend, and kilts aren't Irish anyway."
Right. Well, it's like when I talk about the vision I had in England or in Egypt with the priests all shirtless and bald and wearing white kilts. The kilt it goes way back. So
yeah,
we're talking a while ago. So anyway,
I want to get myself a nice our Robertson clan tartan. I want to get a nice.
It's the Robertson of Wales, or the Roberts of Wales would be more appropriate for us. We've got Scottish in us, but the Roberts of Wales would be our tartan. So
that's a blue, black, and red, right?
It's blue and black. It's a nice looking pattern.
And when you lay it all out and you look at the manufacturer's tag, it's a veritable 600-page novel of consonants.
Yes.
Just consonants.
Yes. Just consonants. That's Wales for you.
Right. Like
So,
the longest town name in the world is in Wales.
I know. It's, and you can't pronounce it.
You can't.
Longest here. Let's see. Longest town name in Wales is. There it is. Llanfair. So Llanfair. PWLL. Two consonants together. GWYNGYLLGOGERYC. HWYRNDROB drobe WLLLANTYSLILIOGOGOGOCK. So it's originally the town had a shorter, easier to pronounce name. It was only 1/3 that length. It was Llanfair Philwiggle. LLANFAIRPWLLGWYNGYLL.
And I had a hard time understanding that I was going into the town of Clonakilty when I was in Ireland. Jesus.
I gotta see how to. I wonder if there's a thing of how to pronounce it, and if it's got a.
Probably.
Let's see.
Just go into Google Translate and type it all out. Welsh into
How
English.
Do I pronounce? Okay.
Gonna be here for a while. Where's that
So it
Snickers?
doesn't actually.
Does it show you how to pronounce it?
Well, yeah, that's.
How
it
do you
right
pronounce it? But there should be a play button. That's a practice. No, it says to pronounce it. You say this. You say it's pronounced with LLAN. It's clan. So it's clan valu puth gwyn guth gu geru thwun drabut lun tusili u gau gau gok. That's the name of the town.
Now say that 5 times fast.
We'd be here all night. Let's see.
Never get through it.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see if we can. I'm going to turn the mic. You tell me if you can hear this because it's playing on the computer. But I got to turn the mic because it's directional mic. See if you hear this. Let's try it again.
Not part of it.
All right. We'll try that one more time. There it is. Say that.
I think you can slow it.
Oh, you can? Oh, yeah. Have them say it slow. Try it again.
Not hearing anything.
What?
Yeah.
That's weird.
What the hell? Oh, well. It's all right.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Here, I got to turn the mic. Sorry about that. Oh, look
Well,
at this.
gents,
After 11. It's after.
I need to call it an evening.
You need to call it an evening.
I have much work to do this weekend with the house since
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
realtor's coming to take a look at it Monday at 1. So,
Fun.
Well, I'm
yeah.
sure glad that you joined us tonight.
Well, I'm always glad to join you guys. I wish I could stay on a bit longer. I just I got to try to unload this place as quickly as possible because I know orders are going to come down
He's moving to
soon.
Texas or something. Kansas.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri.
Oh,
Strike 3. Missouri. Kansas, Texas, Missouri.
gun-toting states.
Yeah, gun-toting state.
Yes, sir. Constitutional carry. That's why. So my job is actually across the border in Illinois at Scott Air Force Base. But because I appreciate the Second Amendment too much, and I don't like taxes
Too much.
and I kind of don't like the general politics of the People's Democratic Republic of Chicago. So, you know, I will reside 40 minutes away from work. I will keep my guns.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No, sir.
Oh, well.
So,
What did Chuck Thurston say? Kilts were Scott, and I'm never letting my nads hang. Not happening.
Not happening.
Oh, you've never known comfort, Chuck, until a hot day comes along and you can stand and you can strike a pose in your kilts, put your hand on your hip, and air condition your scrotal regions.
It's very nice.
It's like,
It is. It indeed is. That's very true.
Wonderful breeze.
it's a wonderful thing.
The last time I did that was a number of years ago. It was when I was still living back in Missouri. It had to have been, I want to say 2015, and got into a rat rod building competition with some veterans and some other folks across the country, and we all converged on Dallas Fort Worth, and we all bought kilts. Our build team, we all bought kilts, so that on the last day, when we got to, oh Lord, it's in Louisiana. It's
New Orleans?
no, it's east of Natchitoches. Lafayette is where it ended. Was in Lafayette, and we got there. We ended up taking first place, if anybody was wondering. But we're like, all right, guys, here we go. Last day, we're all rolling into the final place where everybody's meeting up, and they had a small little car show thing going on, and you know, vendors and all that. And we all kilted it up, and we all had our mechanics shop shirts on with our little build names and our team name on the back and all of that, and you know, rolled into. We all rolled in there. I was wearing my desert boots from Iraq and Afghanistan. One of the other guy was wearing his, and then the team leader dude decided to not wear his, and he wore cowboy boots, which was pretty lame, if you ask me. And yeah. So that nice breeze, even with all the humidity, it was like it breathed nicely.
Yes, I like the nice breeze of wearing my kilt and being regimental as I wear it, as we called it, a regimental. Why? What do you wear beneath your kilt? Why, my socks and shoes, of course.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's the way to go. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
Sarah Yusuf says, "What about raising a last glass for those who have fallen
All right.
and those who are left behind? Let's do that, shall we?"
I will get my bottle of Jameson's Caskmates because it's rather smooth.
All right. All right. Are you ready?
May
lad?
you be in heaven a half hour before the devil knows
Yes.
you're dead.
This is one. This is proposing a toast to fallen comrades. And it's a little longer, but it says this. It says, raise your glasses. Let us give thanks for the many blessings we've received. Let us give thanks for the security of our country and for the freedoms we enjoy and experience every day. However, let us also remember the great price that's been paid for that freedom too many times. We knew them. They lived. They felt. They were as vibrant, as energetic, as immortal as you and I. They were brave. They fell for peace and for freedom and the service of their country. And many may argue about the futility of death and of war, but one should never forget that they died not in vain, but in honor. And many times down through the years, our country is called, and many men and women have answered the call. Let us not forget our fallen comrades, but remember them always, for they have earned our respect and admiration with their lives. And those loved ones that we have, who have not given their life in the service of the country, but have passed on and left us bereft, or left us in love, or left us wishing we had gone instead of them, or left us always feeling that gaping, vast emptiness of their presence being gone. We knew them, we'll remember them, and they'll not be forgotten. To our fallen comrades.
Sláinte.
Sláinte. And on that note, I think we're going to call it a show for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Jason, thank you for being here, brother.
Always a pleasure.
I would only say this because I've been drinking, but I love you.
Love you too, brother.
But not in a untoward sort of way, but more
in a manly way.
military stockade. Sort of way.
Very manly, brotherly way.
Manly, yes.
Yeah.
They will bite the hair off my chest. Things like that. All right. You have a good night, brother.
Take her easy, guys.
And everybody else, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me your time. We've had wilder St. Patty's Day, Sam and I, but tonight it's a bit milder than normal.
We got to singing.
We got to singing. Drinks. We had some drinks. Probably still too many, but I was trying to think of a good song to send us off, and I can't think of one.
Parting glass.
Oh, I don't know all the words to the Parting Glass, but let's look them up.
Kings.
The Parting Glass lyrics.
There you go. First one that pops up is the High King.
It's a Scottish traditional song. Has this got the lyrics, though? Let's do this. We've all heard Ed Sheeran sing this. I will tell you this.
Wonderful song.
When you were a little boy, when Sam was little, we had the regiment, our red-coated regiment, and we would always sing this song together around the campfire as the last song of the big day at the rendezvous. And a great song. You can look it up. You can hear. This is Hosher. This is the guy that sang that one whiskey song, by the way. The Parting Glass lyric. It goes like this, and it's an old song. So anyone who knows this, think about this song. It says, of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, was done to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that e'er I had, they're sorry for my going away. And of all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise while you should not, I will gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Oh, if I had money enough to spend, and leisure time to sit a while, there's a fair maid in this town that sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips, she alone has my heart in thrall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all.
Great song.
Everyone, have a good night, and we'll see you next time, which will be Sunday morning. Live long and prosper.